Hi guys, it's episode 12 now, and today we're going to get into something more technical, which is configuring the authentication for Power Virtual Agent. So, this is a bit out of my comfort zone. Um, AD authentication is really not in my radar, so I actually contemplate on whether I want to do this video or should I just skip this topic altogether. But I thought, well, it's a good challenge, and I actually want to have a bit of a hands-on about it as well. So even though I wouldn't be able to explain in depth on probably the meaning of all the steps that I'm going to show, but I think it's good experience for me to try it out, and I think it'll be good experience for you to try it out as well. So before I start, I want to say that there's a lot of very good resources out there if you want to know it in more detail. So I found a couple of very good blogs. So if you prefer to read a blog, there is Thomas' blog where he actually explains step by step on how to set up together with some screenshots. And then there is also a video that has been created by Natraj maybe last month or a few weeks back. I think in January, yeah, a few weeks back, where he actually show how you can create an authentication and log in on behalf of CDS. So he also explained on how to use the postman to test it and stuff like that. So for my video, I'm just going to do something really simple. I'm just going to show how to configure the Azure AD authentication. And you can actually find this step by step in Microsoft Docs as well as Thomas' blog. But this is the first time of me doing it, and I'm sorry if I couldn't explain it properly, but I'll just show you how to generate the token, how to enter and get the information that you need, and then how to link it to your bot conversation, and then what happens when you add authentication to the bot conversation. So basically, why we enable authentication is so that when the user have a conversation with your bot, we can prompt them to sign in. And then once they sign in, we can generate a token for them. And then using that token that they enter, we can actually get their information from the backend system. So it's actually more secure. So let's get started, okay? First of all, obviously, you need to first create your bot. So I have my Power Bot created already in 12 episodes ago. And to get to authentication, you have to go to Manage and then click on Authentication. And here what you have is the authentication page that you need to fill in. So for someone like me, this is really intimidating because I actually don't know, like looking at this, I actually don't know where to get all this information. But thank God for all these resources out there. I actually able to go through the steps and learn how to do it. So before I get started, maybe I'll just read through to you what they say here. So it says authentication allow the bot to verify users' identity during a conversation, which is like what I said just now, allow them to sign in and then you can get their information. So it gets a secure access to user data, and you can also take action on the user's behalf. So this is so this is why we have authentication. And then to configure it, you have to enter the information by your identify provider IDP, which I'll show you later on how to set it up and how to get the information. And it also says to test, you can learn more about it here. So if you click on this, it'll bring you to this Microsoft document here where it actually shows you in detail how to add the authentication, what is OUTH2 identity provider. So the bot supports any authentication capabilities that sign in through OUTH2. So example here given is AD, Microsoft account, Facebook, CTS, etc. etc. Today we're just going to look at AD. And at the bottom here, it actually shows you step by step how to go to authentication, what to enter in the form. So I find this table particularly useful because it explains quite clearly how you wanna, like, what should be entered in every of the fields, and they also give you example, which if you are connecting to AD like me, you can just copy and paste. So that makes it much easier. And at the bottom, it also shows you how to test configuration. So this page here is really good. Okay. So before we get started, we have to set up our identity provider. This is in the Azure. So I'll just close this. Yeah. So first of all, we'll come to the Azure portal and do a registration. So I have actually put down the step-by-step over here because I can't actually remember how to create this. And I got this, this is a mix of the information I get from the Thomas blog as well as the Microsoft Docs. So basically there is 5 major steps. First is obviously go to Azure portal, then create a new registration. After that, you have to configure a redirect URL, grant permission to the app, and then generate the key so that you can get the key and enter into the authentication page in PVA. So this is the steps of creating the authentication client ID and etc. the token for AD. If you're doing it for different authentication like Facebook or Outlook or CDS, the steps are similar, but I think the information you enter is a bit different. Okay, so let's just get started. I think this is the one over here. So first I register an application, and then here it says user facing display name that can be changed later. So I can put maybe super power bot. I think I can put spacing, I reckon. Then what is the account type that I want? So now I want to create AD, so I'll select the second one, which is any AD directory. So I guess if you want to do others like Microsoft account or like this multi-tenant AD and Microsoft account, you select the third one, and if it's just the account in this directory in Elaine's tenant with my current environment, I'll select the first one. So I'll do the second one for now. Oh, they also have a help me choose over here. So yeah. Oh, so it provides pretty good explanation. I didn't realize this. So it says account in this organization only. So only all user and guest accounts in your directory can access to this application. Yeah, so I think obviously this means that the bot is only used internally because they belong to your tenant. So accounts in any organization directory, which is the multi-tenant. So for this one, so all users with work or school account for Microsoft can use this. So anyone with Microsoft account, a registered Microsoft account, can sign in and use your application. And the third one is in any organization directory and personal Microsoft account. So basically, anyone with Office 365 and personal account with services to Microsoft services, obviously here, Xbox and Skype can sign in. Yep, so depends on your need, you set it up based on whichever that you want to cater to, okay? So that's that, and then you redirect URI is optional. This is to return a response. So this one I learned from Natraj blog. So he has set up Postman. So if you want to call back from Postman, he actually enter it here in the redirect URI. I've entered Natraj video link below. I think it's very clearly explained and very informative. So do head there and check it out. Okay. So now I'll just register this. So now it's creating an application called Superpower Bot, and there you go. Once it's created, I can see here that I have my client ID, tenant ID, object ID, supporter account. So these are all my informations. Um, yeah, my basically, yeah, the information that have been generated. And then there's this thing here, endpoint. Yeah, I guess this is all your URLs, like your authorization endpoint, token endpoint, single sign-on. Yeah, and all the endpoint that is related to this application. Okay, so what do I do next? So next I have to configure my redirect URL. So how I do that is I go to authentication, add a platform, enter this URL, create access token, and configure. So yeah, this is the redirect URL. So I reckon this is when you prompt, once you prompt the user to sign on, you have the button. So when they click on the button, it'll bring them to the sign in page. So I guess this is where you set it up. So let's just get it done now. So I'll go to authentication and then add a platform. So you can either do mobile desk application or web application. So I'll select web for now. And the direct URI I've copied from there. So this is my direct URI. So you can learn more about the URI and restriction over here. So as you can see here, this is the accept destination when returning authentication responses after successfully authentication users. Okay. So this is where it redirect to once you successfully authenticate the user. Okay. And then logout URL is where we send a request to application to clear the user session data. So I'm just going to leave that out. This was single sign-on to work correctly. Not doing that. And then implicit grant allows the application to request a token directly from authorization endpoint. So for this one, I would select access token. And then I'll just configure. So again, sorry for I'll probably not explain this very well, but yeah, I'm just trying it out for the first time, and hopefully after this I can understand better and dig deeper into it. And then I'll create another video to talk about it further. So once I've done authentication, I have to grant permission to the app. So to do that, I'll go to API permission. Yep, so this is applications are authorized to call API when they are granted permission by user or admin as part of the consent process. Okay, so this is the list of configured permissions should include all permissions to the application needed. So basically, this is giving permissions for the user to call the API. So I'll just add a permission. Oh, I could also grant an admin consent here for you. Interesting. So we have already one created over here. If I click on it, so this is user read for Microsoft Graph. So it doesn't have admin consent. So it will allow user to sign in the app, allow the app to read the profile, allows the app to read basic company information of the sign-in user. So basically, this is the permission. If you use user.read, this is what you get. But I'll create a new one here. So this is called app permission. I'll give permission to Microsoft Graph. So below here, you can see there's all the other apps that you can provide permission to. So for here, this is Microsoft Graph. And then delegated permission. So your application needs to access API as a sign-in user. Okay, that's correct. And then I'll do OpenID. So OpenID is allow user to sign in the app with their work or school account and allow the app to see their basic information, which is about right. So what is the rest? That's just curious. I'll have a look. So email allow app to read your user's email address. Offline access and profile is to see the user's profile. Okay. So this is a good one. So they can sign into their work using their work account, and then it allows the app to see the information. So I'll just add permission. So now that I've done that, what's next? So now I have to generate the key. Okay, so now I'll actually get the key, and then I'll go back to the authentication page, the configuration page on PVA, and enter the value information over there. So if I go to overview, I'll just move this across. So this is side by side. So now, first of all, before I bring the key across, so this is a client ID, right? So this is the one I need to actually copy. Yeah. So I'll just put in the name. So I'll just call it the same super power bot. And then the client ID that I've copied, I'll just paste. And then there's a client secret as well. So for the client secret, I have to first generate the client secret. So I'll go to certificates and secret. And then I'll click a new client secret. Maybe have it never expire. So this is for super power bot. So once I add, it should generate yeah, there you go. So this is my secret. So I'll copy this and I'll paste it over here. Scope list delimiter. So from here onwards, all I do is I come to this page here. This is a page that I've navigated through the link above, and I'll just copy whatever they have on this table. So here for scope list, it says separator character. So if the scope, okay, empty spaces are not supported, okay, but I can use in scopes field is required by the identity provider. So in that case, use comma field and spaces for scope. So I'll use comma field. It's a comma. So authorization URL template. So this is the URL template for authorization. So I'll just copy this. So I'm copying this because I'm actually setting up for AD. So if you're setting up for some other authentication, you probably need to change. I think you change this part over here, the common authentication here. Probably need to change this, but yeah, for what I'm doing, I can just copy and paste. And then we're gonna have authorization URL template. So for this as well, it says provide by identity provider. I'll just copy this. This is copy and paste. The next one we have URL string query string template. So for query string template is a question mark. So I'm just gonna put a question mark. Next is a token URL template. I'll just put this here. Token URL template would be this one over here. Just copy this. Oops. So next is the query string template, question mark. Okay, token body template, just replace with this one. Refresh URL template. I guess by now you get the idea. So I'll just replace with this one over here. Refresh URL query string template, question mark. Refresh body template. I'm just gonna take copy this. And basically for the scope is the scope you want authenticated user to have once it's signed in. So this is based on the privilege just now. So if I come over here and go to API permission, so this is my scope, open ID over here because I set this up. So I'll just put open ID and fingers crossed it works. So now we're just gonna save this. So once this is saved and authentication is ready, configured and set up, we can actually add it to our bot conversation. So it's still saving. Let's give it a while. It says you know, save your password. Okay, so just update. Now just go to topic. Oops, save this. Okay, so I'll just go to topic now, and then I'll create a new topic. Maybe I'll just call this AD Azure AD Authentication. My trigger phrase is probably hello, hi, and then I'll just go to the authoring canvas. Hello, this is what I want to respond, and then I can add my authentication. So to do that, I have to first call an action, like how we did when we add Power Automate, right? So instead of selecting the Power Automate, we will select Authenticate, and here you have two variables, is login or an authentication token. So, oops, sorry about that. Let me just go back up. Yep. And then you will check the condition. If the login is true, then basically it's checking whether the user logged in with the correct username and password. So if it's false, if the login is not true, then you will say there's an issue, and then what you want to do next. Do you want to retry or talk to an agent? So let's just save this, and then we test it out. So hello. My bot should respond hello. Oh, okay. So hang on, I have another topic that is enabled. Maybe I should just disable all the other topics because it starts with the same trigger phrase as well. So let's start this again. I'll just go to test your bot and turn on authoring canvas. Behind. Now it should go through this flow now. Oh, maybe I'll just change the trigger phrase. I must have other bots enabled. Let's have something not so generic, like what's up. I'm sure I don't have a topic that starts with this trigger point, but then let's try and fingers crossed it works. Hang on. Let me just fix this. Edit trigger phrase. I forget to save just now. So let me just fix this. So I'll put what's up. Save topic. And then we go to authoring canvas. Oh, now we got it right. So always remember to save. I have this bad habit of not saving. So hopefully it goes hello now. Yeah, alright, cool. So now it asks me to log in. So when I click this, it should redirect me to login page if we have set it up correctly. If I don't set it up correctly, see, I didn't set it up correctly, so it goes to bad request. That means there's a problem. So I have to go back to my authentication form over here and see what went wrong. So maybe the easiest is for me to just copy and paste everything again. Just remove, maybe I'll just delete this connection and set it up another one. Oh, it's currently in use. Okay, fine. So I first have to remove the topic and then remove the connection and then I'll set it up again. So let me just turn this off. Come back here, delete connection. Okay. I can't actually do that. I actually need to remove this. Okay. Now I should be able to delete my authentication. Okay. And delete connection. Okay. So now this is the new one. Let's just try again. Superpower bot. It's generic, and then I'll just go to my overview and get my client ID. And the client secret obviously is over here. I'll just copy this. Scope delimiter, I think we put a comma. Authorization URL template, what did it say here? So this would be http login microsoft.com. Just make sure there's no space as well when you do a copy and paste. Like there's no space between your URL or the front and the back. Oh, sorry, not here. My bad. So, comma. Authorization query string template. Okay, so this one is, just need to copy this query string template over here. And then token URL template. I'll just copy this one. Then token URL query string template. So this is a question mark. Token body template. I'll just copy this one. Cross. I just hope that I'm copying correctly. Refresh URL template. So I'll have it here. Refresh URL query string template. Question mark. Refresh body template. I'll just copy this. And then obviously my scope, that is my open ID. So I'll just go to API permission. Yep, I'll copy this open ID just to make sure I didn't make a spelling mistake. Okay, so now I'll save this and I'll try again. Saving. Okay, make sure you test it. I'll go to the topic and then I'll test it. So let's try a new topic now. So let's just do login. And then the title, again, I'll just do the same thing, authentication. So just want some special triggers so that it doesn't clash with some of the topics I have. So, hello. Let's call an action again and put authenticate. Now, this is a template that has been given and created. We're just going to save this and I want to test it again and finger cross it works. So here I have, I'm just going to say login. My bot will respond as hello. So this is the button. So if I configure correctly, there you go. So now it will tell me that permission requested, and if I accept it, it should bring me to a, yep. So please enter this validation code in a window. So I'll just copy this and I'll enter it here. So once I enter the validation code, it will say you're now logged in. So yeah, so this is how it actually works. So I think just now I must have done some, I must have copy and paste some error, or there must be some space or maybe spelling error or something. So on the authentication page, that's why it failed. So yep, here you go. I set up my first AD authentication. So I hope you guys do the same as well. Before I go, maybe I'll just come here and go through this page at the end of it where it actually talks about permanently remove. There's somewhere here, sorry, that it talks about the flow. So maybe it's add authentication. Yeah, this is the page I'm looking for. So yeah, so it explains about this variable, right? So what does this variable mean? So it's login, it indicates whether the user is signed in or not. So it's a boolean. So you can create branching, can check for whether it's successful or fail. And then authentication variable is actually the used to store the user's token. So after the users sign in, you pass this to automatic flow when they can connect to API, fetch user information. So yeah, so that's what the two variable means. So I can't explain it just now because I actually couldn't, I read this but I couldn't actually remember. So this, I think the explanation on the Microsoft Docs is really great. Like if you read through it, it will talk about how to use without an authenticate node, what's the success path, what's the failure path, and of course you can expand this further. You can call Power Automate, and then from there you can get information of the user from your backend system, whether it's Dynamics or some other backend system that you have. Alright guys, I hope you have learned something with me today. Sorry that I couldn't actually explain this very well. Like I said, this is something very new to me, but I'm really glad that I tried this because now I can say that I've set up authentication. I know how to set up know how to register for Azure AD to get the client ID and get the information to enter into the authentication page. And maybe in the future, when I set up my bot, this is the first step for me to learn and dig deeper into this topic. So that's all for me. Enjoy your Wednesday night and have a good week ahead and look forward to the weekend soon. Take care. Bye.